Okay, so the first thing I want to cover is just the contest. I ran a contest to see what kind of creative names you could come up with, and you really gave me some good ones, and I'm so excited about that because I'm typically pretty good at naming products, and I just couldn't come up with something quickly that I liked for this product. So I ran a contest, and you guys entered, and we came up with the winning name, and the winning name was submitted by Simone, and Simone came up with a name, Tissue Tulip, and I really liked this name because not only does it describe what the product is for, but it also describes sort of the aesthetic of it. And of course, it's alliterative with both words starting with T. And so I think it just rolls off the tongue easily. I think if you walked into a Bed Bath & Beyond and you were looking for it, it would be easy to say, do you have a tissue tulip? And they would know what you were talking about if the marketing is done properly and the product makes it into a Bed Bath & Beyond. So that was really exciting, and Simone won. Congratulations, Simone. And I love to run contests and find out what you guys have to say. So I was really glad that I got such good participation with that. Now, let's talk about what phase we're entering. We just finished the design phase, and I don't know if you remember, but back in the beginning, I had to choose between either starting with design or starting with prototype. And they do work hand in hand, absolutely, but there's a difference between creating something that looks like what it's going to end up looking like and something that functions like what it will supposed to be functioning like. So I chose to start with the design phase just so it would be easier for you to get an idea of what is it going to look like and do, so you know, is this something I would want to buy? But very exciting announcement that we have moved into what is called the breadboard phase, and that means we are developing a prototype. So at the end of the next few weeks, I should have a physical, working, functioning product that may not look exactly like the design that we came up with, but should function like the final product and look very close to what we ended up with our final design. If you haven't seen the first few episodes of this story, I will link them below for you. Please go back and look at those because it's pretty exciting to see this product go through the stages of getting developed. And then also there is a virtual reality episode where I show you exactly what it'll look like on video without having a physical product in my hand. So that's pretty cool too. So check that out. But for those of you who have been following along, you know that we came up with a design already and we're starting prototype phase. So about a few weeks and we should have it. So that's very good news and I'm excited about that. And that leads us to the next topic of discussion, which is how much will it cost to produce this product and will it ever see the light of day? And that's a good question. And honestly, I can't answer that question yet. Will it ever see the light of day? I know some of you are really rooting for this product and hoping for it to become available. And I am so glad to have you on board because you help me kind of keep chugging along with this. But there are obviously costs related to creating a product like this, particularly from scratch. When you're not just taking something that exists and making a minor modification to it, you have to make the tools that make the product. So to give you an idea of why, I'm not sure yet whether this is going to see the light of day or whether I'll do it myself. I'm going to fill you in on some of the costs, so you might be interested in that. So right now, as it stands, the range of cost to produce just the tools that make this product is in the range of $50,000 to $100,000. That's just to make the tools. Now that's if the tools are made in the US, which I really am trying to get this product made in the US. I just think it is, there are several reasons why, but I do believe that you would prefer a US made product as well, or at least I can say the majority of the expenses go to people who work in the US. And if I produce it in China, which is really the other best alternative to the US, where it could be most easily done, the costs are still pretty high. It's in the $50,000 to $75,000 range for the tools. Now remember, the designing and creating and manufacturing the tools does not mean we have any product yet. It just means we have a way to make the product. So there still has to be money invested to make the product once the tools are created. And I haven't been given formal numbers for that, but my estimate of the first product run is going to be another $100,000. So, and that's probably no matter whether I produce it in the US or China. It might be a little less in China. So do you find that, did you have any clue? Is that something that you thought it might cost to produce? And you know, what are your thoughts on that? Type in your thoughts below this video or email me back, because I'm interested to hear, was this surprising to you? Is it something where you look at it and you say, I've always wanted to design my own product, but I didn't know where to start and I'm not sure how much it costs, and this is really surprising and eye-opening? Or that's what I expected it to be and that's why I've never done it, or that's why I want to do it. What are your thoughts on that? I have to say I was not surprised, but of course I have been doing business in China and the US since 2017, and I also have a business background for over 20 years prior to starting Bountiful Home. So I wasn't surprised with the costs of the tools or the product run. But that leads us to the next topic, which is, will this ever see the light of day? Yeah, I can't answer that, because not only do we have the costs of the tools and the costs of the product run, but I have to decide, is this a product where, you know, I can sink that much money into and not know if anybody actually wants to buy it? So, you know, a big conglomerate company might be able to spend $100,000 to $200,000 just testing the market. But I involved you early because I really wanted to see, does anybody want this as much as I do? Because if nobody else wants this, it's definitely not worth putting that money into. I'm not sure if you know, but when I started Bountiful Home, I started on I believe, $1,000 budget. That was how much I actually spent on my first set of materials and shipping items and setting up an account with Amazon and remedial website. So $1,000 to start Bountiful Home, which has, you know, I was testing the idea. So $1,000 to test an idea isn't a big deal, but $100,000 to test an idea is definitely a different ballpark, and certainly more intimidating for me, as you know, as you can imagine. So I involved you early because I really want to know, do you want this product to see the light of day? Do you believe that there is a need for it and that you would buy it? You know, they say money talks louder than words. So if you saw it on Amazon, is it something you would buy? Or if you saw marketing for it, would you say, yeah, I need something like that in my home. I'm kind of tired of tissues that clump together at the end. I'm tired of my tissue covers looking like a big square box taking up the entire counter. Because if you remember, that's the problem I'm trying to solve with this. This product looks more like a vase. Definitely going to be more beautiful, and definitely going to be more functional. But again, testing an idea at $100,000 is definitely different than $1,000. So the other alternative, if I did want this product to see the light of day, I have a couple other alternatives besides funding it myself with $100,000. And those alternatives would be, I could go out and get funding. I could raise capital. I could raise it either from people like you on a Kickstarter campaign, where you would kick in to pre-purchase basically the product before it comes out. Typically that would happen within a few months of that product actually, you know, being produced and shipped. And I am not a Kickstarter expert, so I can't tell you whether I would be successful at that. And I can also say that $100,000 to be raised on a Kickstarter campaign is a pretty hefty expectation. So I have my doubts about that route. The other funding option I have is to go to banks for traditional funding or other investment type funding where somebody would fund the production up front. That is an option. And the third option would be to not produce it myself at all, but to sell the idea once I have a prototype and a design and a nice sales sheet, to sell the idea to a big company to produce, where they would just offer royalties back to me for each item that is sold for a period of time, under contract, specific terms, things like that. So those are the three options for actually getting this product to market that I have thought of at this point. If you have another option, feel free to let me know. Write it down in the description or in the comments below and tell me if you have another option that I haven't thought of. And I have to kind of decide after I get the prototype, which direction do I want to go with this? Which one would be best, and are any of them worth it? So that's kind of where I'm at right now with this product. I do hope it sees the light of day because it's something that I want. But if it doesn't, then I still want to say thank you so much for all your involvement in this and all your hard effort, just, kind of pushing me along and reading my emails and watching my videos on this and just really getting involved. I know it can be a very big letdown when you've invested your time into something that may not actually produce anything. And so I don't want you to feel that way. Unfortunately, there are many, many ideas out there that never will see the light of day because people just can't afford to make it happen, and they don't know how to get anybody else behind it. And so that's where I'm at right now. And you'll get to find out over the coming weeks and months whether I was able to solve the funding problem or not. And I'm definitely going to keep you in the loop. So keep watching these videos, keep reading the emails, and I will keep you posted. In the meantime, definitely make any comment that you want in the video comments below, or email me back and tell me, what do you think? Have you felt like this was a worthwhile journey to take with me? Are you, will you be disappointed if it doesn't come out? What is it that you would like to see happen with this? And give me any creative ideas that I haven't thought of yet, because you are equally as creative as me. I have definitely learned that by involving you early in this process. So thank you again, and I can't wait to be able to update you on how this progresses and show you an actual prototype when that's available, and it should be available within the next few weeks. Thanks so much, and I can't wait to see you again.